Tarkov is a game with a reputation, and like most games with a reputation, it's very popular with streamers.
No! Get him, dude!
It absolutely blew up around 2019, bringing massive waves of new players to the game, and just as quickly as they came, they were gone, presumably after mag dumping a PPSH into some stacked PMC with level 5 armor. Not to downplay the newbie's hardship, the game is extremely difficult to learn and difficult to play, almost like if Arma 3 had a competitive mode that hated you. This is made all the worse by the plethora of alien streamers that came to Earth specifically to be good at this goddamn game. Now, although I'm still pretty new to the game, I'm no spring chicken, having played the game on and off for nearly 2 years now. After watching these god-tier streamers play the game and having a friend rant to me about the game for over 2 hours, I decided this was something I needed in my life. And needless to say, I was absolutely terrible.
Oh my god.
What the f? Between the intense realism of literally starving to death in a raid to the demigods patrolling beginner maps with thermal scopes, how was I ever gonna stand a chance? And so, my first endeavor into the game came to a brutal end after I uninstalled and didn't play it again for 2 months. After those 2 months are up, I felt an itch. A need to get railed on a Russian frontier. So onwards began my second escapade. How did it go? Literally the same as before. I was intimidated, scared, and anxious jumping into every raid because of what most call gear fear, where you're eternally scared of losing the shit that you just brought in. Looking back, this was quite ironic, because a stacked run for me would mean a PPSH, shit helmet, and no headphones with a backpack just big enough to fit a MacBook Air. This cycle pretty much continued until my last spat with the game, where all of a sudden my laptop just couldn't take it anymore and ran at a steady 22 FPS every time I loaded in. That would have been the conclusion to my Tarkov journey had my friend not decided to get the game himself armed with a 3060 and no frame rate issues. I re-downloaded it, fixed my FPS, and dived again into the shooter equivalent of CBT. Here is where things changed though. I wasn't alone. I had my also newbie friend to help guide me through the game with his random amount of Tarkov knowledge gained from random YouTubers and streamers. Still took me about a week or so to get into it, but this time I was hooked enough to get over the fundamentals of enjoying this messed up game. And now, it's something I can genuinely enjoy without constant anxiety ruining my underwear and most importantly, my ability to hit shots. But can I actually explain my approach? Well, it's a good time to ask, why is Tarkov so hard to get into? Well, Tarkov isn't like most shooters. The depth of this game rivals most milsims, and the sheer barrier of entry in terms of knowledge is mind-boggling, with everything from armor to the bullets you load into your gun having a massive effect on your survivability. Combine that with the intense realism from gunfights and the constant clips of people doing incredibly well at this game, and you having a starting experience that could be best described as imposter syndrome. There's still the drive to keep playing though, the feeling that there's something you're missing, and when you find it, you can finally excel. This reminds me a lot of my first experience with Dark Souls. You jump in, die, do some googling, die again, then do the ritualistic uninstall hoping that maybe you're not bad, just cursed. Then the drive to play the game either takes you, or it doesn't. And if it does, then it's only a matter of time before you realize the way to get good at the game is to throw yourself at the brick wall until you no longer feel fear. I feel like most people, when they have their first PMC interaction in Tarkov, they fire an entire mag into some guy's chest only for him to shrug it off and kill you in one shot. You think, well, what's the point? This game is broken, and uninstall it almost immediately. Or maybe you don't uninstall, but after it happens 6 times, you just feel like this game isn't for you. Here's the thing, especially as a new player, you're playing the game wrong. That is the mentality I developed when getting back into the game, with the guidance from my friend and the understanding that if I died, it wasn't the game that was breaking, it was just my fuck up. So now, here's how to get into Tarkov. First, drop gear fear. You will lose good stuff in this game, and there are points where you're broke, and the best thing you can bring in is a broken Mosin loaded with ammo that couldn't penetrate cotton. There will also be times where you look longingly at some souped up M4, wishing for the day you're comfortable enough to bring it in with you. Well, that day isn't gonna come. You will lose it. Maybe not this raid, maybe not the next, but there will be a point where it's picked off your body and there's nothing you can do about it. Enjoy it while it lasts, instead of hiding it away in your inventory like some prize in a museum. And if you're really not gonna use it, then sell it. As my friend says, it's not yours, you're just borrowing it. This phrase will save you a lot of heartache when it comes to getting over gear fear. Second, stop comparing yourself to others. See that great clip of Pestily wiping an entire squad? Well, he literally plays the game for a living. He has more hours than you could ever hope to get while playing the game around your 9 to 5. You will run into streamers that will rock your shit. You will see clips of people doing things you didn't even think was possible. Get over it. Say you play sports in your free time. You're never gonna have fun with it if you keep comparing yourself to an athlete that's been playing since the age of 12. Play your game, enjoy it. It's not that deep. Third, be aggressive. When jumping into the game, your first instinct is going to be to run away from fights or hide in some corner. Well, it's a shooter. Play it like one. There are knacks to the firefights. You can't just sprint around and play it like Call of Duty, for example, but the game is more fast-paced than you think. Use that. Enjoy that. You're not going to kill any PMCs by hiding in a closet at the back of the map because you heard footsteps but no Russian voice line. Fourth, understand the basics. This comes with time after a few raids, but inspect your ammo. What armor can it penetrate? Only level 2? Then don't go for body shots. What armor are you bringing in? Level 3? All high level players can shoot through that. So don't just stand around in places like a lemon. Use cover as much as you can. Constantly missing shots while up close? Your bullets come out of your gun. ADS is great for longer distances, but if you're too close to someone, your bullet will magically fly to the right. If it looks like you can shoot someone, you probably can and will. Never underestimate hipfire in this game. This one's for the low levels, but aim for the head. I mentioned earlier about armor and bullets, but below a certain level, this doesn't matter. You won't be able to buy decent armor, and you won't be able to buy decent ammo. Your ammo won't penetrate, and your armor won't save you. Here's the thing, there's this part between the enemy's helmet and their armor called their face. Aim for it. When I learned this, I went from 1 PMC kill in 2 years to 6 in 1 raid. A final tip I can give you is making money. Late game, I have no idea. I'm not that far deep yet. Early game, however, use your scav runs. Don't hoard weapons like anything, and if you don't have a scav crate yet, just sell everything. Doing this can make you anywhere from 40 to 300,000 per scav run if you're lucky. You'll get that scav crate in no time. Just for the love of God, keep your scav karma in the positive. So with this little guide, I wish you all the luck in the world in fulfilling your goal and actually enjoying this obtuse game. Because at the end of the day, there isn't really anything like it. You have Grey Zone Warfare, which is without the intense Russian vibe, and you have Marauders, which is essentially a casual version of this game with space mechanics. But nothing quite comes close to the gritty multiplayer stalker that this game has turned into. That being said, get ready for this game to ruin you for a while, but when you get comfortable with it, it becomes something wholly new. A semi-normal game that you can jump into without intimidation and upset. Well, not a lot of upset anyway. That I domed me. He's like peeking from behind a car, like a mile away.
What did he use?
I don't know.
I think I saw him on your stream.